I don't look in the mirror before I do this often. So then it's like looking in the mirror for the first time for the day when I start the thing. So that's not great. Hey, welcome back to Cubs Fantasy Broadcast thing. Yeah, here we are. Sorry that I'm a day late. I'm $1 short. No, yeah. This is yesterday's game that I'm doing. I've been getting behind because, you know, this has got to be close to like the 50th of these I've done. So it's taken a while. Let's see here. They got. Oh, it's a left-handed pitcher for them. So, ooh, do we want? Man, I'm not crazy about a lot of this lineup. It's power against left, power left against left is okay. Eesh, or power against. Ian Happ's power is not as good against left as I thought it was going to be. Let's give Wilson a day off. Or wait, okay. Actually, we can do this. All right. We will have Schwarber play catcher for Wilson Contreras, so then we need someone in left field. So we'll put Albert Almora Jr. is currently in left field. Who's in center field? Okay, we'll switch. Ian Happ is now in left field. Although, who's playing second? Okay, we're going to have Ian Happ play second. And then we're going to have left field be played by... Actually, we're going to bring Nico Horner in to play. This is going to take some doing. Or not that much, but... There, we're going to have Nico play second. Ian Happ in left field. I think he can play that, right? Yeah, he's left fielder. What, do they not have him at center field at all? Okay, he's primarily a center fielder. Okay. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize Steven Souza. I can't decide if I should put... Sorry. I almost want to put... Oh, he's got to stay with serious. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to put people. I almost want to put PJ Higgins somewhere to give him at-bats. Because he hasn't been able to get any at-bats. Let's place third base. Who's in right field? Steven Souza. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking about who's all in the infield. Oh wow, Baez can play center field. All right, we're gonna put PJ Higgins at second, and put Horner at shortstop, and we're gonna put where'd he go? We're gonna put Baez at center. Believe me, I realize how absurd this is. So, Baez just okay. So we're gonna put Baez at center, which now puts Almora in right. This is super silly. I understand how absurd this is looking, but it's fun, right? Wow, Almora shouldn't be the cleanup hitter, that's for sure. Yeah, let's do that. That's super weird. This is one of the only times that the lineup will probably look like this. And PJ Higgins, his stats aren't even that good, but I just felt like... Well, Milwaukee Brewers versus Cubs. Almost exact opposites in record. But don't tell the Brewers that because they're excited for some reason. Eric Lauer, 3-4. Not great numbers overall. Hold on. And away we go. And that's the way the news goes.
0-1.
So here we go, 0-1. Chris Bryant. Like I said, this lineup is gonna look crazy now.
First pitch, 3-10.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
This lineup right now. And also make sure that he hears. But this line. Yep. Okay. This lineup right now. Oh boy. Oh, is that fair? It's gonna be. He's gone for 3. And he's got it. They're gonna go home with it. That's how for sure they knew he'd at least get third. I was surprised if that was fair. Chris Bryant's third triple of the year. So it just goes against the works for him. The shift works for him, or against the team. But so there are 4 catcher eligible players
1-0.
starting for the Cubs today. So let's hope Schwarber doesn't get hurt playing catcher. I think I have Schwarber playing catcher. But or no, Contreras probably is playing. I don't even know. The Caratini. Oh, that's deep, but is it deep enough? It should be, and it is going to score a run. But Higgins, Caratini, Contreras, and Schwarber are all in the lineup today, and they're all primarily, aside from Schwarber now, catchers. Schwarber very much. I'm surprised they have him. It's very considering he hasn't played catcher in probably over a year. He's like I would say he's their 3rd string, like solely based on if injuries happen. Yeah. Ooh.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Count.
Batting 4, the left fielder, number 8.
I believe in White
Ian Happ.
I don't know what just happened there. Sorry. I was putting John Wayne where I said I believe in white supremacy. John Wayne. There was this quote of John Wayne that I was reading about in a Playboy interview, and he talks about that. So I have some context. But I was reading about that because I posted a thing about John Wayne not being a very good actor. And then some people are defending him as an actor, but also as like, 1 or 2 people were like, he was a piece of shit. And one person was like, no, he wasn't. He wasn't a piece of shit. And he didn't believe in that, but like, he sort of did. I mean, it was like from 1971, but it's still some of the things he said were pretty like. Pretty make it. I'm from Iowa, so everyone
Love Vento.
loves to suck John Wayne's dick off. He's not a very good actor. He's okay in some things. I like him in The Man Who Shot Liberty Balance a lot. I heard he's really good in The Quiet Man. But it's a lot of... And also I don't like a lot of the bullshit machoism that he's spawning. Like, the only... I mean... John Wayne is like if Kurt Russell was bad. Kurt Russell's great. I love Kurt Russell. So I don't know. He might go with it.
Batting second. The third baseman.
Brady. Don't worry, I'm not kidding.
Count 1-0.
The Brady.
Nope, that's a ball.
I leave a funny voicemail message.
This is Brady. Leave a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Brad, he's a dad, sad, everyone gets sad, bad company, I can't deny.
Yell it.
Well, that was fun for me. Christian Yelich, one of the best baseball players that exist right now. 1-1, he's always scary to get.
2-1. Ball. Nope. Ball 4.
Batting fourth. The second baseman. Catch there. You're up.
Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright.
0-1's the count. Count 0-2.
We call Adrian.
Batting fifth. The left fielder. Avisaías Garcia.
Well, feel like a fool. God, it's still the first inning? Oh my god. Oh, man. I need to start doing more, I need to start mixing it up for this show. I need to start originally I was going to write a lot of fake commercials and do lots of fun stuff, and now I might do more of that because it's getting so monotonous with doing this. I apologize.
Ball, back outside.
It's my fault. I started it. I did it. I thought people would like it. Some people watch it, and it's fun, good fun. But, oh, could he get out? He gets the out. Now we go to inning number 2. And it's often more fun when I talk to people on here. I'll talk to Gerald probably soon. Gerald's a good old standby. Gerald's the gold standard of guests for the show, I would say. As Gerald is always good. Quick with a joke. Or light up your smoke.
Number 5, Albert Almora.
I think I'm getting early onset dementia. It's like, okay, really chill.
Look out, 1-1.
It is. Because I'm saying things, and I'm like, there's things that I know.
Count was 2-1.
It's like I arrive at like my information is like separated by bridges. Those are what neurons are. And the bridge is out. But I can like see. I can see where I'm wanting to go, but I can't get there because the bridge is out. Or I have to go take a bunch of other bridges that takes a lot longer to get there. And it's
3-2.
very frustrating. Yeah, because you used to just be like, who's this actor? And then boom, right away I'd be able to tell you, like, on the spot who it was. And now it's like, I don't know who it is. I can't remember. And then I'll have to do like a 6 degrees. See, I can't remember. 6 degrees Kevin Bacon. 6 or 7 degrees Kevin Bacon. I can't remember what degrees Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees. It is 6 degrees. Okay. But I have to like do that with my brain, where I have to like, he was in the thing that was this, and he was this, like, it's getting real frustrating.
That is the shortstop, Nico Horner.
Hey!
Nico Horner. 1-1. Fuddruckers. So Nico Horner from Eric Lauer, 1-2 pitch with someone on first. I don't know. Oh yeah, it was Almora. Oh, that might drop. Nice catch. Out of right field. Is that Yelich? He's such a good player. So good. He's such a good player where I almost wouldn't want him to even try to do that because I'd be afraid of it personally. But he got it. He got it. It looked good. Oh no. I dropped the sun chip.
Ball. Ball. That pitch is out. That's outside. Ball 4, that's tough.
Batting ninth, the pitcher, number 62, Jose Quintana.
One and one. Oh, that's off the plate. Ball 2.
Alright. Hold it some time. Right through. Let's give old Jero the call.
Again?
I know. Two times in less than 36 hours? What am I, having sex with you?
Oh, that's 2 times that you know of.
Except that, yeah.
You're a deep
I'm a
sleeper.
deep sleep. Especially after you give me one of those drinks. You called the drink a Mickey itself. I thought it was. I didn't realize it was literally just whatever it was.
0-1.
So, yeah, well, you know, when I sing that song, "Hey Mickey, you're so fine," I'm singing to the drug.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine, you.
Blank my mind.
Yeah. Blank my mind. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine, you blank my mind. Hey, Mickey, how'd I get here? How'd I get here? Yeah, I'm a day behind on the baseball. Technically, this is...
And $1 short?
yeah, I'm always $1 short. Although I did get an irrigation thing for my ear. Was I talking to you last time when my ear was all weird?
You didn't mention that.
Okay. Like my ear is, and I still use Q-tips. Like I know they're not supposed to be used. Like that's a thing that's like I understand. Basically, I act how people act with global warming. Where like the scientists have told me not to do it, and I know they're probably right, but I just can't help myself, you know.
Damn ear oil company.
Yes. Can I sell my? Yeah. That's what I should have. How come I'm not building up my wax? No pun intended. Building up my wax reserves. Someone posted a thing about how they were like, oh my god, you guys. They basically were like, scented candles are a scam. And she was like, she was talking about how easy it is to like make your own candles. She was like, for like $50, you can make like 20 or 30 candle. Like all you basically do is like melt some, like you boil water and melt some wax, and then you like just have whatever like essential oils or whatever you want, and that's all. And that's like all you need, and some wicks or whatever, and like things to like put them in. But yeah, they basically were just like, if you go to a craft store, you can. That's
how everything works.
Yeah.
You could make just about
yes.
anything cheaper than you would get it if you just purchased it.
But this is like but this is like mostly not having to be in the same room. You know what I mean? Like this is a make water hot with a thing in it and pour things in it and then let it dry. And then, like, I don't know.
That pitch is out.
Did you guys know that you could just fall down the stairs and not pay for your own abortion?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, what a money saver!
Holy.
Yeah, that's it's like the eat this, not that. It's like the do this, not that.
Because it's like there was this article on like BuzzFeed or something about like this guy saved tons of money by making his own taste-alikes at home. It was like, but it was acting like this was some amazing breakthrough. It was like, yeah, he cooked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he cooked for himself?
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's what I was talking to my mom in quarantine. She was in quarantine. I asked her how she was doing, and she was like, "Oh, good." She's like, cooking a lot, cooking a lot. But I wanted to be like, well, what does a lot mean to you? Like, is that is that just like once a day? And also, like, what kind of cooking? Because, like, to her, like, getting the pre-made cookies that you put in the oven, you know what I mean? That are, like, already cut. You know what I mean? Like that's considered cooking. You know, like.
Those are great, though.
Are they good?
Oh, yeah, Toll House cookies.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't found a make-yourself from scratch recipe that's better than just those.
You know what is supposedly really good is the and I just saw it more recently, but it's the Disney World gave away the recipe a couple years ago to their, like, they have really big chocolate the chocolate chip cookies or something like that, or some sort of cookie that they have, like the Grand Floridian, which is like one of the fancier Disney World hotels. But they, like, gave away the recipes, and people were like, "Oh God, this is so good." So, if you're interested, give that check. I think it's the Grand Floridian.
Grand Floridian.
I've never stayed at the Grand Floridian. That's one of the few. Although it's not.
Careful, they put Floridian in the water.
Yes, exactly. No, that's why Russians only drink vodka, because they don't want that Floridian like there is in water.
It's all because of the lazy dentists.
Yes. It is funny when I talk about like high fluoride. My dad's just like, fluoride's like in small and of course he as a dentist, I'm sure he very much would say that and believe that, because you would have to be a dentist, because that's literally like what you use to clean people's teeth is fluoride, you know.
He's just a shill.
Shill.
The fluoride companies.
I mean, yeah. I get it. I'd understand.
It's fine. It's good for your teeth, bad for your bones, which is weird because your teeth are bones.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's just calcium. And it's I think it's just a thing where it's like in large quantities it's bad for you.
Yeah.
But
Now batting, third baseman.
I mean, harvest cheddar. I was just thinking, what a stupid term harvest cheddar is. Like, it implies that cheddar is like a grain, like cheddar is in a field that people are like pulling up out of the ground.
I would love to go to one of those like Dutch cheese festivals, you know, when all the cheese has matured and they.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's a thing?
You see it like I don't know if it's Dutch specifically, but like in Europe, and they have a big thing.
I don't know if they do. We should, if you ever want to go to Tulip Time in Pella. Are you familiar with Pella?
Pella.
Yeah.
No, I am not.
It's a big Dutch, it's largely Dutch community. Probably one of the only places where I can think of in Iowa where the phone book for V is probably the largest part of the phone book. As I think I've heard that say. Because there's a lot of Vanderkamp and Van... What?
A lot of people named Vendetta?
Yes.
Because V is for
Vendetta.
V
is for Vendetta. Yeah. At most libraries it says V, Vendetta, through V for... I don't know. But, they have a thing there called Tulip Time in Pella, where it's like... Because they, like, grow Pella's kind of like if Disney was just a city, but like was religious sort of, because they're like kind of they're pretty Christiany, like it's like like the tulips are like you can't like pick the tulips. There's like $100 fine if you try and pick the tulips from anywhere around town. They also have like you can get like fined if you don't mow your lawn, that sort of thing. Like yeah. But they have a Breddo pizza that's really good. That's why I would usually go there.
The center fielder, number 9.
Have you ever had Breddo pizza?
What is that?
Did they never have a Breddo here in Iowa City?
I've never heard of this.
Really? It was one of my favorite pizza places in Newton. And there was one in Des Moines too. It's French. Breddo is French. I thought it was a chain. Maybe it was only a couple different. Maybe it was just a strictly Iowa, because there was one. Yeah. Breddo pizza. Here we go.
No, that's down.
Let's see how many there are. Our story. Find a Breddo. Let's see where our closest Breddo is. I'm guessing it's Pella. But
2-0.
I mean, I'll give it up for the fact that they're like, hey, we're French pizza. Like
French pizza, huh?
yes, it's very. If I had to compare it to anything, ooh, hit down the line. That's going to be a double for I believe Almora. I could be wrong. If I had to, although it does not look good, like in the pictures I'm looking at, it makes it look like Domino's. But if I had to compare it to any type of pizza, it'd be like a thin crust airliner style, from what I remember. But that was literally over a decade ago, probably the last time I had Breddo.
You see the picture? The guy's like, I got high and I accidentally ordered extra crust.
No.
And so the crust on his pizza is just huge.
That's like on the sides. Like I'm confused. I'm
Like
confused.
the pizza, there's less toppings on the pizza because
Okay.
it's more crust.
Yeah. So they basically just skimmed on everything else and had a regular crust.
It's a sad, sad situation.
So, okay, there's like Breddo is very much a Iowa, Missouri, and a little bit of Illinois and a little bit of Nebraska. There looks like to be a little less than 20 of them. There is one in Altoona still. The closest one to us is...
No ball.
Oh, there's one in Mount Pleasant. So there's one less than an hour away if we wanted to go to Mount Pleasant. There's also one in Oskaloosa. Yeah, there's a whole, like, the majority of them stem from central Iowa. Like, there's probably like 6 in the epicenter of, like, if you went to the very middle of Iowa and went 100 miles around in a radius, there would probably be about half of the Breddo pizzas.
So if you would walk 1,000 miles
And I'd walk 1,000 more.
to get that Breddo pizza,
To get that Breddo pizza in my tummy. Also, and we, because we knew like when one of my neighbors she went to Pella, and so we knew these Pella girls, and it was funny because they were like super.
pelicans.
Yeah, they're pelican. They had huge. They were always eating fish. They'd always go to the creek because that was the only water around, and they'd go to the creek and just get huge fish, bigger fish than you would assume from the creek. Do you say creek or crick?
Albert.
Yeah, it's all good, bud.
Yeah, is it like route and roots to you? I'd say route and root are the two most like either one of them is completely fine to me.
So you want to root the enemy?
Yes. Or like, it's weird because I call it a paper route, but I call it Route 66. You know what I mean? But it's the same.
That's where
It's-
you kicks, not where you
Yes.
hit your calcs.
Yes. There. There. But now I really want fucking Bretto pizza. Let's go to Mount Pleasant sometime here. If we ever take the train to like Chicago or anything, we should go to Bretto before.
Sounds like a nice whorehouse. Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant. Oh man.
Did it. For some reason, that put me now in the mood for a root beer float.
My burp.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Root beer, because it's very carb, like, it's good. It's weird because people are like, oh, that gives me, something like that. If it helps me burp, actually, like, makes me feel better.
Sure.
Like, it puts me over the edge of, like, if I'm like, "Bruh, bruh, bruh," like, sometimes I need that, like, just a little bit of carbonation to make me, like, get out all the burp, get out all the gas. What kind of, are you a traditionalist with root beer floats? Or you just like just ice cream or just vanilla, root beer, boom, done? Or do you do like
Sometimes I'll
weird?
get a brown cow.
What?
Sometimes I'll get a brown cow.
A brown cow?
1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's ice cream and Coke.
Oh, that's probably all right. I could see that being okay.
It's a tasty treat.
Yeah. I think I would change. I don't know what I would do,
2 strikes.
but I could do a little like variations on the ice cream, as long as it didn't get too like chocolatey. Like I could do some like chocolate chip, vanilla, or like vanilla chocolate chip, or like I don't know, something. But I haven't had a root beer float in forever.
They're everywhere. I mean, you could go to the Dairy Queen drive-thru.
Yeah, they have them there, but they use like what kind of root beer do they use?
I don't know.
I feel like the majority of big corporate root beer is garbage.
The second baseman. Yes, sir.
Like-
Let's see, what else? I just saw somewhere else. I went to one drive-thru where that was like the new thing is that they're doing root beer floats.
Yeah,
Might
I
have
don't know.
been McDonald's or Arby's.
Count
I'm
Corno.
inclined to say Arby's.
That seems more that seems Arby's Arby's-y.
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary. That should be a like an at random thing where like I'll take the $5 arbitrary and they just give you something of like a mystery box. Yeah, it's like you never did D&D with us where Lance would always get at John's. You can get mystery boxes of beer where it's just like it's either like a 6-pack or a 12-pack, and it's just like in like a cardboard case, and it's just whatever's in there. Like they just put whatever, and sometimes you get some real good ones, and sometimes you get some not so good ones. Sometimes it's a mix of both.
The first baseman, number 5.
Gotta gamble.
Yeah. If you're a degenerative gambler and an alcoholic, it's a real good one.
That's Lance.
Not much of a game, although he was wanting to do the MMA fight stuff, of betting on those.
That's a vote.
We'll see if that's right. We'll see if Dana White buys his own island like he was talking about, or if it just does that to normal thing.
In his own island where he's free to let people get as sick as he wants them to be.
Yes, yeah. It's the most dangerous game, but with just letting people be around each other without any sort of restraint or any sort of coverings. They're like, a lot of the freelance stuff. Oh boy, is he gonna? Okay, the Cubs are tied 2-2 by the way, the bottom of the third. I can't believe it's only third. But like freelance writing stuff, there's things I used to apply to that like now I'm just like, like if the country is somewhere where I don't know if they're gonna speak English well enough, where it's like where they would even get half of my joke. You know what I mean? Where it's all like if they aren't even gonna understand half of the things I'm saying for jokes, like how's it gonna work? Like, or if they're really broad about things, or if they're like if. It's one of those things, sometimes it's too broad, and other times it's, like, so specific, being like, I need someone who's an amazing artist, and this is a great story, and if you're good, it's gonna be good, like, and it's like, okay, alright. But there's, like, a $1,500 job right now, and all it says is scriptwriter needed, it's from Pakistan, and it says scriptwriter needed. Need a talented and ambitious scriptwriter to develop a plot. That's all that's provided in the information.
You to write the part of a person, let's say an American journalist who's been kidnapped, and he needs to say something to the government in a video that would get them to leave.
Let's just say, some stuff happens, he learns his lesson, and then he might live. We haven't decided if he lives yet, but what would you have him say?
Right away where he does and doesn't get beheaded.
We want
so we can compare.
We want to see how both endings sound. But yeah, I don't know. I bought got some Sun Chips. They got some soft and chewy cookies. Those are really hard to turn down, the soft and chewy cookies.
I'm not a huge fan.
You're not? You just like regular?
Let's see, what kind of cookies do I like? I'm not a huge cookie guy in general.
Really?
I like, I like fresh baked cookies.
Yeah.
And everything else is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, you've never crushed up a bunch of Oreos and put them in a bowl of milk and eat them like cereal?
Oreos, yeah, that's true. That's what I like. But that's like one that you could never recreate.
Oh, really?
On your own. Like it's such a process thing. It's not like buying a chocolate chip cookie that you could make yourself. That would be so much better.
Yeah. What were those called? There was a thing that was like Oreos, and someone, when I talked about Oreos, because I like the golden Oreos better, personally. But someone was...
because they're white.
Yes, exactly. I don't care for the taste much, but they're aesthetically pleasing visually. No, obviously I'm kidding. But the my grandma used to have these. There was these cookies. They were like Oreos, and I can't even remember what they're called.
Oh, Hydrox.
Yes, Hydrox. My grandma had they had them just like Oreos did too, where it was like they were like bigger Oreos essentially.
The second base.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And
Hydrox were good.
yeah, and then they just like disappeared.
Probably went out of business or something.
But I really liked those white ones too. Yeah, it's the brand for a cream-filled chocolate sandwich cookie manufactured by Leaf Brands. But like, how were they not? However, it says largely discontinued. Okay, so Keebler bought them, and then Kellogg's acquired Keebler. Does Kellogg's make? Who makes Oreos?
Or they just like, you don't get to be a thing anymore.
Well, it says Nabisco and Mondelez Nabisco owns Oreo. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you discontinue the old because that's a very specific taste that only Oreos are like that, you know? And I'm pretty sure it predates the Oreo as well.
Right?
Yeah, it does, by 4 years.
That 90s commercial where the board meeting and the guy is stuffing his face with cookies and they're like, what do we call him? And he's like, Oreo.
Oreo. Oreo's great. Yeah. But this is
Only 90s.
they have a whole Deadpool Death Strike. Is that his name? I always forget. Death Strike. Is that his name?
Deathstroke?
Deathstroke. They have a whole Deathstroke Deadpool situation because listen to this. So Hydrox was in 1908. The similar Oreo cookie introduced in 1912 was inspired by the Hydrox. The Oreo eventually exceeded Hydrox in popularity, which resulted in the Hydrox being perceived as an imitator, even though it was the original. That's a kick in the dick, don't you think?
Yeah, that's why you gotta be the best. It doesn't matter.
That's fair. Doesn't matter who's first. It's like Nintendo made the Rumble Pack, and then everyone's like, yeah, that's a great idea. It's almost unfair that Nintendo is always the one innovating, and then the other companies just have so much more resources and money to just refine everything.
Yeah, it's good they don't. It's like they don't see the point in doing something if it isn't new.
Who, Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
why?
sometimes there's a lot of hit or misses. I feel like the
Now it's
Wii
1-0.
was a very gimmicky thing, and it sold great, but they were trying to pretend like the technology was like where it's at now then. You know? Is what I feel like.
Yeah, they can tell the difference between moving and not
Yeah,
moving. But
exactly.
Not much beyond that.
Yeah, anything like the only the Wii bowling was fun, and then there was some interesting stuff with WarioWare and Mario Party.
If you wanted to show off to your family how good you were at the jerking off motion.
Yes, exactly. And then there's the there was that Surgeon game that was kind of fun. If you ever played
Trauma
those,
Center?
yeah, Trauma. It was interesting at least. But other than that, it was kind of like, all right, guys, what do you? And I kind of resented that when playing Zelda, it's like I don't want to I'm gonna play this game for a long time. I don't want to have to shake my hand to swing at things. You know what I mean? I don't think you had. I think there was a button probably, right? You didn't actually have to use that all the time, did you? I can't even remember.
You might have had to.
If you didn't have the class, if you didn't get the classic controller, you maybe did have to do like a little wrist movement thing with it,
Oh, that's it out.
which was fucking annoying. I can't find it, but I had. Did you have a Wii or a Wii U?
Nope.
Too busy owning stock to get too. You don't want to get too attached to the product, right?
It's alright. It's all just money for me.
It's all about some money with Gerald. That's fair. How's that doing? Where are you at? Are you up or down like $20 in Nintendo stuff?
up.
You're up? Yeah. You should have bought a lot when the market crashed.
I really should have.
Like, it is so funny that the only people that could have taken advantage of the economy being horrible were the people that already had tons of money.
Yep.
Like, they say that over the last 2 months, like Bezos's wealth, his net worth went up like 35 billion, and Zuckerberg's went up like 25 billion. It's just, man, it's so insane, so insane. At that point, at Amazon, how could you even be mad? Like, how much would letting workers unionize, how bad do they think that would actually be for their bottom line? Like, what amount of money do they think they would lose letting workers unionize?
As long as they don't let them onionize, that's got too many layers.
Yes. It's very, very, very... now I want a blooming onion.
That'd be tasty.
Oh, that's deep from Chris Bryant into the gap. Oh, it's gone. It's just gone. 399 feet, 104.9 miles per hour. It got out of here pretty quickly. It was opposite field, like right center field. Bryant's 12th on the year. I believe that puts the Cubs up. I haven't been paying enough attention to know for sure, but give me a second. and I'll know, but I think it puts him up 3-2. And here's the replay of that. Yeah, Bryant goes with the pitch and hits it out to right center. So now it's tied.
They're
It's
playing
tied.
soccer?
The center fielder, number 9.
What is it? What?
I said the pitch.
Oh, the
They're playing
pitch.
soccer?
Yes, on the pitch. FIFA pitch. It's funny that they did change that movie called Fever Pitch that was about soccer and kept the name Fever Pitch and made it about baseball.
No, they changed it to Beaver pitch.
Ah, yes, and made it pornography. Did you ever see that movie, the Jimmy Fallon Fever Pitch?
What now?
Fever Pitch with Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there originally was a British thing. I haven't seen the British one. But the British one is this guy is like, I'm assuming he's like a big Man U fan. I don't know if it's Man U, but it's some soccer league that he's like a huge soccer hooligan fan. Or I don't know if he's a hooligan, but he's a huge soccer fan. And he starts dating this girl, and like, she starts to realize that it's like his life is that soccer club. So the American version is Jimmy Fallon is like that, but with the Boston Red Sox. And he has like season tickets and to be fair, like if you're way into baseball, that is that's half a year. And if you have season tickets to the Red Sox and go to every game, that's 81 days a year or so that you're doing that. So I understand how relationships could be both made and destroyed through that. But what was really funny is because part of the whole thing is that for the longest time, because the Red Sox had the longest drought, one of their longest droughts in Major League history since they had a World Series. And then when they were filming it was when they got to the World Series and won, so they had to change the ending because part of the whole thing was that Red Sox fans are these tortured fans and their team will never win the World Series. And then during the last part of filming, they won the World Series, so they just had to interject that being a thing.
That's funny. Now there's these shows that are running that are supposed to be happening now, but they don't have anything about the coronavirus.
But I'm thankful for that though. Right? Can you imagine how many shows are going to be about that for a while? Does that make sense?
So it'll be the same as anything. Good writers will do it well, and bad ones
But
won't.
it'd be like imagine if aliens just straight up come here and start hanging out. It's like, man, that's gonna suck to write stories now, because you're gonna always have to be like, well, what are the aliens? You know what I mean? It's like when cell phones it's like when horror movies had to start being like, okay, how does the power go out? Okay, how do they lose their cell phone? Okay, how does the internet, it's just like, you have to come up with so many excuses now, because, yeah, I don't know.
How do their bionic penises fail?
Yes, exactly. Are you a fan of the Cabin in the Woods film?
I don't believe I've seen it.
Oh, man. Do you like Drew Goddard?
I don't know who that is.
He he wrote most of, I think of some of my favorite Lost episodes he wrote. He was the showrunner on the Daredevil show, I think. He wrote probably half the episodes for Daredevil.
Yeah.
So and I'm assuming you like that. This might be a home run, and it is. Brewers go up by 1. But anyway, he wrote it. Him and Joss Whedon co-wrote it, I think, and one of them directed it.
I mean, I know about it. I just haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. And also, did you ever see the Bad Times at the El Ridge or whatever the hell that's called?
No.
Drew Goddard wrote and directed that too. You're a fan of Bradley Whitford and Richard Dinkins, I assume, right?
I don't know
Bradley Whitford is, what's his name? Josh Lyman from The West Wing.
The first baseman, number 5.
And the bad guy in Billy Madison.
Okay.
And he's the dad in Get Out.
Right.
That guy. But it's him and Richard Jenkins is the guy who's in a bunch of he's in a bunch of Farrelly Brothers movies. He's really skinny and old. If you ever saw Stuck on You, he was the one who the dad in it.
1 ball, 2
I'm trying to think what all he's been in so many things. If you saw him, you go, oh, that guy. But Cabin in the Woods mixes genres really well, and the dialogue between Bradley Whitford and Richard. He's the dad in Step Brothers. Is Richard Jenkins or Jenkins or whatever his name is. It's real skinny, bald, tall.
I've not seen Step Brothers, or if I have, I don't have any memory of it.
Really? That's one I'm interested to see what you think of Step Brothers. Step Brothers is very funny, and I thought it looked very stupid. It's one of those movies where I think if you don't actually watch it, you would assume it was really bad. But it's very funny. If you like, do you like Talladega Nights?
leading off his cup. The left fielder,
All right.
number 8.
It's basically more of an, because it's just John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, doing a lot of improv and swearing a lot. And Adam Scott's in it as, the jerk stepbrother.
Oh, that's in.
It's very enjoyable. I like it a lot. So I got, I was supposed to get a package today, and the FedEx got, on the outside of my door, I had a thing from the FedEx that was just need the door code. And I want to be like, what? Do you not deliver packages here? You know what I mean? What do you mean you don't, have the door code?
Right.
You're a FedEx delivery. This can't be the only time of my apartment complex of dozens of people that FedEx has delivered here. I don't know.
So what is that code? Say it.
The right fielder, number 5.
I can't. Well, what's crazy is they changed it because there was a domestic abuse thing happen.
Yeah.
Or what they said, they were it was a break. They're first they were it's a break-in, and they're but it was a domestic abuse problem, and now the guy's in prison. And I was well, was it a break-in? How can it be a break-in and a domestic dispute? Aren't those conflicting statements, right?
He broke into his house.
Freak. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending him by any means. I'm questioning how they framed what happened, because I'm just well, those are conflicting things of what you just said. But then the way they changed it too was barely, where it was the thing they changed it to would be a thing you would maybe accidentally type instead of the real thing. To me at least, where I was all right. It's we're still using all, it's still the same numbers, but in a different sequence.
Heck of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Shit. But,
Number 2, shortstop, Nico Hoerner.
Can't remember. Yeah, I hate that because I posted a thing about John Wayne just not being a very good actor, and then some people were and also he was a bigot, and and other people were no, he wasn't. And I was can't I just say he was a shitty actor? Why does it have to turn into this? Why is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people they just want to either completely love or completely hate somebody.
Yeah. And don't get me, and also, and people were calm, whenever anyone gets called a draft dodger, I'm always like, I'm completely fine with anyone dodging any draft for whatever reason. That being said, he very much was like one of the like driving forces behind like calling out Hollywood people for being like commies and un-American, when it was like half the guys that they were naming like went and fought in World War II while he was like getting deferments. Stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's like, that kind of is fucking garbage. To be like, you're not a real American, get out of here if you don't like it. It's in that Trumbo movie. There's a guy like John Wayne's actually not necessarily a main character, but he's in it way more than you would think he would be. Is someone who's playing John Wayne, and he's giving like a speech, like an anti-communism speech at some actor, like some Screen Actors Guild or some industry thing, and someone says something where he's like, God, I didn't know he was this good. And someone's like, it's because he's not acting. Like, which I think is funny. But they're like, no, he's not acting. That's why it's good. Is he's genuinely saying his things. But, yeah. Well, there, partner. I will say...
At what point does the big-eared elephant show up in Trumbo?
It takes him to the circus.
That's right. And Danny DeVito's there, right?
And he says, hey, Trumbo, you can fly with them ears. Do some flying, Trumbo. I didn't see the new one. I heard it. I think Butler was telling me that his brother took his kids to it, and his kids were horrified, and they had to, like, leave. Like, is it that weird? Because it is... Did Burton do it?
Yes,
yeah.
That sounds like that. I'd love it though, it's him, yeah.
I do love that meme where it's like Tim Burton to Danny DeVito. Danny, I need you. And Danny's like, oh, hold on, let me get my hat. Like, because he's in multiple movies where he's like wearing a top hat. Because, yeah, Batman Returns. He's like wearing the top hat and the weird thing. And then in Big Fish a Burton movie? He's a circus master guy, a circus guy in that, and then this one, I think he's a ringmaster again, and it's almost like the same outfit.
It's amazing, because usually, if you're in any sensible world, you think you'd be cast as one of the freaks, not the circus.
Exactly. Come on, I'm Danny DeVito.
I always wonder what his marriage with Rhea Perlman is like. Like, are they like just a normal cat? Like, are they both just funny people who enjoy making jokes together?
I think they got divorced a year or two ago.
Did they?
Let me see here. Oh, well, maybe not. I could have sworn I thought she is taller than him by an inch or two. I guess, yeah, I guess they are still married. But yes, that is interesting. An interesting thing. You saw that Always Sunny. It's super old now. It's like from the second or third season, where where he's all like, oh yeah, you just gotta go. Where it's like, we got renewed for a third season, but you just gotta go and you blow DeVito and then that's it. And he's like, what? And he's all like, yeah, like, didn't you read the contract? Like, we have to blow DeVito and they was just all like, no. And then so I think it's like Mac telling Charlie that he has to do that. And then so they're like in his, and then they go to like DeVito's trailer, and DeVito's like, come on in, guys. And like, and then Charlie's, because you know Fred Savage directed a lot of those episodes. Yeah. He's like, but why is Fred Savage here? And Fred Savage is just like eating pizza, and he's like, I'm just here to watch, or something like that. And then he's all like, no, you can't do this. You're married to Rhea Perlman, and the Rhea Perlman's there with like an old VCR camcorder, and she's like, quit whining and get blowing, or something like that. It's a very funny. I'm sorry that I gave away everything, but it's
that was funny.
It's a funny. It's especially for it being like just a thing they did for fun. Like there was no reason to do that than to be silly. Oh.
And it's amazing commitment that they went through with the blowing.
Yes, exactly.
That's commitment to the tip.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Craig, for filling me in. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. God, what was I gonna say about
Whoa, that fits it out.
DeVito? They, yeah, just it's weird that they got him because that apparently that was like that show getting like they really needed, like the network really wanted somebody that was a name, like they really wanted a name to come on, and so it was like a big deal to get him. But oh, they were talking. I remember they're talking about like getting fired from roles and stuff. And Charlie was talking because Charlie used before Always Sunny. He was like the voice of IFC for a while, like being like the this weekend on IFC, you like that sort of thing. Like watch this, you know. And he said he didn't get told that he got fired. He just started seeing commercials with somebody else's voice on them.
Leading off for the Cubs.
So he's like, what happened? Who's this guy? Like, they didn't say they weren't going to hire me anymore. Why is this other guy doing this?
At the ball.
But that would be...
Totally, if I was negotiating like a showbiz contract, I would put in awkward things like that. Like, if you're going to fire me, you have to sit me down and tell me face to face.
Yeah.
And like just little things that'll make them not want to do it. You know, like it's not costing them any money, but just they're such gutless cowards. I know they won't go through with it.
I'm just impressed you said showbiz and didn't immediately start talking about pizza.
Pizza?
Yes,
well, I am
exactly.
the bear.
You are, yes, you're that animatronic bear. You're the model. You were the model basically that they used. It's funny you say that because I heard that a lot of times, if you like as part of your like negotiations for like on a show, like they very much want a minimal amount of people credited as producers. So if you like press for a producer credit for X amount of people, they'll literally just try and like throw more money at a few of them. Because supposedly when you're a producer on a show at a lot, they have to provide you an office there. So it's one of those things like, and there's a couple other caveats too, where it's like if you're technically a producer on a thing, they have to accommodate you in X amount of ways, and you get certain benefits where they much rather would just from the get-go give you like $50,000 to $100,000 more if they can get you to do that instead. Something, or that was an arbitrary amount of money. I have no idea how it actually works, but yeah. Oh,
Nope.
He's in Cheers once or twice, right? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
He is, I think. It's weird when they let people like do like Pierce Bryan not sound like. It was weird to me that Frasier's dad, he's in an episode of Cheers as somebody else completely.
Yes.
He's the guy who writes jingles, who just does like the Old MacDonald is like the jingle he comes up with most of the time.
Yes.
But yeah, that was always strange to me that they also, because they said, and they kind of retroactively fixed it because they said, like, because Frasier always said that his parents were scientists, and then he said his dad was dead, and then when Ted Danson comes to visit him, he's like, you told me your dad was dead. And Martin looks at Frasier, and Frasier goes, I was mad at you. That's what he says. Oh! Javier Baez, I believe, a 2-run home run to take the lead. 402 feet, 95.3 miles per hour exit velocity. His 9th of the year. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. So, yeah. So the Cubs, Javier Baez coming up big here. I have a super weird lineup today where 4 of my players that I started today are catcher eligible. Which, in baseball, yes, catcher in the ride. They're eligible to be very overprivileged and whine about everything to a therapist. I should say overly privileged, just privileged. Were you a catcher in the rye fan?
I mean, they're right in high school. Yeah, I thought it was fine.
I like phonies, and I like saying things are for the birds, but everything else, he just annoyed, like, the main character annoys me so much. I don't know. Just... Did you ever read Portnoy's Complaint?
No.
It's a Philip Roth book, I believe. Supposedly there's comparisons to it. It's been a long time since I read that one. That one's way more messed up too, or way more, I should say, like graphic and things like that. But they claim that the format's similar, where it's like because the old theory or rumor for Catcher in the Rye that it was literally like when J.D. Salinger, like, because it's just him like talking to a therapist, right? Largely, so I don't know, but it's kind of like that, but way weird. But I've been meaning to go maybe take a look back at it and see if I'd like it, because I think it was Rachel, the lady from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She had it listed as one of her favorite novels. So I'm kind of.
If I read that book, do you think Jodie Foster would like me more?
Yes, probably. Probably.
Well, then I'll do it for her.
And if she doesn't, there's a couple of Beatles that aren't dead.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Chicago Cubs.
Just kidding. That obviously. Yes. What was I going to say about that? Was that really Mark David Chapman? Was he trying to impress Jodie Foster? Was that the
yeah, because he liked her in Taxi Driver.
Yeah, he liked her as a 12 or 13-year-old prostitute?
Yes.
All right, that's
He's basically Travis Bickle.
Now that
fair.
That's what he does in the book. He
Yep.
wants to impress
He's
the
like, I
girl.
gotta impress this underage prostitute.
Uh,
Or is he's trying to impress a different girl in that, isn't he?
He's trying to impress a different girl.
Yeah.
But she's
Is
like,
it Candace
she's
Bergen
like
or something?
Candidate,
She-
and so
she's a
he's
what?
Like, he's like gonna kill the guy at first.
Yeah. Wait, who's the other girl in it? Is it Candace Bergen? Or is it...
I don't remember.
Or not Candace Bergen. Or Sybil Shepherd or something like that? I can't remember. Never mind. But, yeah. Have you seen that American Dad episode?
No, I know which one you're talking about. Though.
Okay, watch it. It's hilarious. Because the whole thing is, like, they, like, accidentally undo that, and they have to go try and redo it, so they have to get Mark David Chapman interested in Jodie Foster again. And so Francine's, like, kind of like, how about that Jodie Foster, huh? And Mark David Chapman's like, she's, like, 12. And she's like, yeah, a hard 12. Like... And it's really because I think Stan remakes the movie with John Wayne instead of Robert De Niro, bringing it back to John Wayne, and so it just completely changes the whole film. Because I think he gets Scorsese off drugs and gets him to get John Wayne to be the lead character.
Was Scorsese on drugs? Is that a big thing?
I'm sure he was, but that wasn't necessarily like...
I mean, he normally has a very energetic personality.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure back then, and I mean, and Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver, was a big was like a huge drunk. Before he sold Taxi Driver, he was like
Outside, that's
living out of his car, I think. Paul Schrader, are you familiar with Paul Schrader? He wrote Taxi Driver, but he was like, he was raised like a strict in a strict Calvinist family, and then he was like living out of his car, was like kind of an alcoholic. He came to talk at Iowa when I was in film school, and it was really interesting to hear him talk about it, just about writing and about stuff. Where he talked about how this is probably 2004, and he talked about how he had this script that he was trying to get Leonardo DiCaprio to read, and like Leonardo DiCaprio basically like made him come visit him in Rome to read it to him. So he had to so I had to go fly to Rome to read Leonardo DiCaprio my script because he wouldn't just read it. He wanted me to read it to him, and the whole script.
Leo was busy with his pussy posse.
Yes,
Remember
yes.
that was a thing?
Yes, I do. And Craig brought up the Catcher in the Rye when he shot John Lennon. Yes, I'm familiar with that. Oh, John Hinckley was trying to impress Jodie Foster when he shot Ronald Reagan. All right. Yes, that's fair. We got our names mixed up there. But what did you just say, Gerald?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't either. John. Yes, that's what it is. It's John Hinckley, or the American Dad. So Josh Hader's pitching. He got in trouble for getting your psychos confused. Yes. Craig said getting my psychos confused, which is weird because you'd figure with Gerald usually, you usually keep those ducks in a row pretty well, right?
All the competition blends together.
Yeah, exactly. They're all just so bland compared to what's going on in your mind, right?
Listen, not every sex basement is a sex dungeon.
Exactly.
Now that.
A little panache.
Trying to think of some yeah, a dungeon. Yeah, what makes it a dungeon?
Nope, that's a ball.
Is it a feel?
Have you played my new role-playing game, Dungeon, and dragging people into dungeons?
Dungeons and dragging them there. Oh. That could be a really funny thing where it's like someone literally, like it's a serial killer, but they do set it up like Dungeons and Dragons, and they like make people roll for stuff.
That's basically just the villain Two-Face.
A what?
That's the Batman villain Two-Face.
Yes, but I'm saying like a movie where it's a serial killer, but he like allows rolls. Yeah, so yes, sort of, but more complex. Like no coin flip, fucking basic bitch bullshit. Hey, PJ Higgins got his first major league hit. Good for you, PJ. I started him today. Good job, PJ. Oh, they're going out and they're getting the ball. Chris Bryant's getting the ball for him. That's a big deal in baseball when someone gets if they get their first hit or whatever, they keep the ball. It's kind of cool, kind of neat.
So how much autonomy do you have? Can you put together a team of only the worst people on that team?
For when I'm watching,
Like when you're managing.
Yeah, you have. It used to be 25. Craig says it's not a sex dungeon; it's a sex bomb shelter. So the rosters usually have about 25 people. Now it's 26, and then it expands a little bit in September. Now it's only going to expand to 28. It used to expand to 40, I think. And you usually carry about 12 or 13 pitchers, which is like 5 starters and then like 1 or 2 long relief and then a bunch of like 1 or 2 inning guys. So you basically have about 2 or 3 guys that are considered bench guys that aren't because like I said, because you got 9 people that are starters, or 8 people that are starters, because if you're depending on which league you're in, if you're in the American League, it's 9 because you have the DH.
The Daryl Hughley?
Yes, the Daryl Hugleys. But so you have basically, or then every now and then you have a thing where you'll have platoon players too, which is like people will share time at a spot if they're both similarly good, or if one's really good against right-handed pitchers and the other's really good against left-handed pitchers, or vice versa, or particularly bad against one or the other. So what's 8 plus like 12 or 13? So you only have like 3 spots to like play with, really. So like I did today, like I said, I have 4 people that are catcher eligible on the field, which having 3 catchers in reality is like not a thing that even half teams do. For real, like you have like an emergency catcher as your third catcher usually. Someone who's like a bench player or a second baseman who's like, I can play catcher if we need to, but that's usually because of an injury, or almost always. But so the fact that I have 4 people that are even catcher eligible is weird. But one of them had a knee injury. Kyle Schwarber had a knee injury. He basically is strictly a left fielder now, and DH probably this season some. And then the other main guy, his bat's so good that he used to play a decent amount of outfield too when he wasn't catching, but he's the primary catcher. And then the backup catcher essentially is an okay first baseman and maybe plays some third too. So it's, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year, I think.
So they set the opening day, or what is it?
They haven't yet, but it's looking more and more, like I said, like July 4th. As long as something insane doesn't happen, knock on wood. As far as like, if COVID gets crazy, like if out of nowhere it gets way crazier, then I would guess. From what they were saying, public health wise, mixed with marketing, like it would blow my mind if it wasn't July 4th weekend. Like,
I thought about doing like a meme of taking like a scene from Walking Dead and changing it to like, you can't tell me not to get bit by a zombie. It's my American freedom.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
Yeah. No, it's real. It's real dumb. I was having an argument with one of my friends about this because they were like, and I understand some of the mentality where they're like, what, are you just going to live in fear? And I was all like, they're like, at what point, stay in for how long? Until what? And I'm like, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, I realize that small businesses are hurting. Hopefully they'll get grant money and places will be able to reopen and stuff, but... Oh, great. I just got a comment after because somebody was saying that John Wayne wasn't racist. Or they said, basically they were like, George Takei said he wasn't racist, so he's not. Like,
they were having sex together?
Yeah. And then I posted, because there was that Playboy interview with John Wayne where he literally says, I believe in white supremacy. Like, literally, that's like a direct quote. He does, like, elaborate a little, but he still used, like, that exact, like, he said, I believe in white supremacy. Like, that's a fairly straightforward thing to say, right? Like, what a weird... Like, regardless of what you say after that, that'd be a hard thing to walk back.
I believe in white supremacy. That's why it's our responsibility to take care of the other race.
Well, and he did the thing, he's like, well, I don't think we should have to bend over backwards to help or he said something about not allowing. God, what did he say? Hold on, I can. It's one of those things where he's like, "Well, we can't just let them like this. We can't just let them all of a sudden be in charge of their own." I got it. Hold on. But someone just commented on it, and it's like, God, so many fucking things spelled wrong. Said, I've seen the comment, I believe it was in 1970 or earlier. It's from 1971. So, but still, it's one of those things. And then it says, and then when they said, it blows my mind when people use, like, when you have like when people have a 50-50 chance of using the right word, and they 80% of the time use the wrong one. You know what I mean? When it's like a your thing, or like, I don't know. I don't get it.
People's dumb. They's dumb. Do you know they's dumb?
I don't know. And they also spelled the person. They said ladder when they meant later, which is weird that they would use ladder ever, unless they just think that later is spelled like that with 2 T's. And then they spelled right like right or wrong when they meant right. He said if you write pornography like Bernie did, and he wrote right with an R, with just an R and a G and and he spelled Bernie wrong. Did those erase all his achievements? Judge not judge not less be judged. Or no, it says judge. Here's judge not lest be judges is what.
Oh boy!
I can't. How can this be? How can I? How can?
Blessed are the peas makers.
Blessed are the peas makers because you need your vitamins.
That's right. You put some butter in there, you got a good thing going.
Oh man! And the fact that he says Bernie wrote pornography in a short story, he had like It was a weird thing, but it was like a short story, like a prose thing, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? But the only people that would think it was writing pornography are people that would say write pornography with R-I-G-H-T.
Like all those Renaissance pornographers?
Yeah, exactly. Would women just with their boobs out? Oh, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's funny.
Yeah, I don't even, I almost want to, And then they're like, is Ellen and what makes me really mad about alt-right people is they think I like fucking, like, I don't like Ellen, I don't like fucking, like, I don't like the Clintons or Obama, like, there's this binary attitude for people where it's like, oh, if you think this garbage person, this is a garbage person, what about this other garbage person? I'm like, yeah, they're garbage too. What are you like, we're not talking about that at all. It gets really, really annoying. Yeah,
It's like they're
Craig
saying,
Craig
you
says,
supported someone who was corrupt, so now it's our turn
Yeah.
to support someone who's corrupt.
yeah, or like when when you talk about, like when I talk to my parents about Trump having like all those affairs with, and they're always like, well, the Bill Clinton was having and Kennedy, and I'm like, I'm not talking about those people that aren't relevant now. Like, what are you talking about? That's not what we're talking, like, when your whole defense is completely talking about other people that existed decades earlier in being relevant, that's not a defense at all. That's literally like dodging an idea. I don't know. Craig says, let he without son cast the first Stein.
Ben Stein?
Yes. Win Ben Stein's money tonight.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Chicago, Number 43, Dan Winslow.
And I also like how it's like, when it's like, I've seen the, like, in the heading, it says that it was from 1971, and they're like, I've seen the comment, it was from 1970 or earlier. And it's like, well, obviously, you didn't look at the first 7 words when it says it's after that. Like, it's like, I can, and even though that's a little thing, it's one of those things where, like, well, obviously I can disagree with the thing you say right away, even though it's not a big deal, you're still wrong right away. Yeah. So if everything you'd said in your life is reviewed 50, 60, 70 years, and years for some reason has an apostrophe for years latter. Years latter. Years apostrophe latter.
It's short for years is latter.
Year is latter. 50, 60, 70 years latter. Years. Yes, because the years own ladder. It's showing ownership of the ladder. Maybe he thinks it's a ladder, like a ladder that you climb up.
Listen, you gotta stop arguing with Trump's speechwriter.
I mean, jeez Louise. Said, I hope when your great grandchildren review everything you have said and done, they may come up with an unflattering view of you too. 2. Guess how many O's are in 2 in this one?
3.
No. 1. You know, like it's not supposed to be in that context. Like I said, I don't understand how you can mess 50-50s up 100% of the time. You know what? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I will say, the one that always gets me still, and I know this would make me sound dumb, but like the 2 different kinds of effect. Like, I know one's like a noun and the other's like verb usually, right? For like affect and effect, like an A and E. Like I avoid that as much as I can because I always am like questioning myself on that. But at least I know, I know that I'm gonna fuck it up, so I don't do it. So I'll be like, what's the result of that? Or what's going to happen to that? But also it was like, I want to be like, well, I don't think I ever have been quoted in Playboy as saying I'm a white supremacist. Like, what do you mean they can tick whatever? Like, I know I'm at least, on the record. I don't know.
Listen, you can twist anything. Like when I said all hail the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, people just twist it.
You can twist any direct quote to mean anything you want it to mean.
To be anything that it says.
Yeah, there they go, taking my direct quote in context that's pretty much in the context that I meant it to be. Ugh. But then also when it's always like the people that are always defending that are people that are racist or are bigots. You know what I mean? Like the people that are like most of the time where I hear people say, well, it's not even about race. The people that usually say that are racist. Like it's like if you know them outside of the context of that conversation, like even if they're like, well, it's not about race, it's about this. But it's like if you were hanging out with them somewhere else, they'd say something. You know what I mean? They'd say something to go, oh, well, you are that. Yeah.
When I said that they were no good,
yeah, someone was a direct quote. Like, should I like say everything that he said but like spell it right, where I would like regardless of how much like put it in parentheses or in quotes to like say, like to either like write it in or like I feel like if I write it in his letters then I should put it in quotations. But like just writing it correctly, I don't know. The Cubs won, by the way. Cubs
Well,
win.
good for them.
Yeah. No, it's good. Could be like, regardless how much later, sans the extra T.
Mr. T?
Yeah, and he also was, like I said, he got multiple deferments.
Here now is
And like, and John, and like, Ford, was that his name? John Ford?
8 hits, no errors.
Like, John
They
Ford
left
used to
6
give him
men
shit
on
all the
base.
time, being like, you're a fucking phony, like,
For the Brewers,
like,
4 runs on
you're
11
pretend you're being in
hits,
war
no
films and
errors.
you're
They
not.
left 7 men on base.
John Ford?
Yeah, John Ford, like, who made
3 hours and 15
John
minutes.
Wayne famous, essentially.
Was
like-
knowing up about the career and life of John Wayne.
And we remind you to please drive home safely.
Let's just say my interest in that actor is on the wane.
It's waning. It's not waxing.
Oh, I'm waxing.
You're
I'm
waxing?
everything. I'm like a hairless, the naked mole. Naked mole rat. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, but no, that's the one thing where I've always been like, I have no problem with dodging the draft. Whenever anyone gets mad at anyone for draft dodging, I'm just like, oh, did they not want to go die for a thing? Like, but it's the point. It's the point where if you after the fact try and act like you're some sort of patriot doing some, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's not a noble or evil thing, so don't try to twist it in either direction.
Yeah. Like, although I will say World War II was probably the last time where it was like where you could at least, like, where it shouldn't be hard to rationalize what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like every war after World War II has been kind of been like, should we be doing this? But like with World War II, it was like, oh, our place got bombed by this literal country, and our like, it was a lot more easy to be like, well, we're in it now. Like,
yeah. You're under attack.
yeah,
You can't. It's harder to not do something about that.
yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Gerald, thank you for being on the show. The Cubs won. Alec Mills with the win. Chris Bryant, 2 for 4 with a home run, a triple, and RBI. I think Dan Winkler got the save. He's got 17 now.
He was good in happy days.
Winkler? Hey, he got the save.
No, I can be sorry.
Yeah, if you you don't get to say someone writes pornography if you can't spell the word right. If you can't spell the word right, you don't get to decide what is or isn't anything in literature. Like, although I will say that's another thing I've been doing. Like, when I've been typing fast, I will like do stuff like that on accident, and then look back a second later and just be like, "What the fuck's wrong with my brain right now?" You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or like one. Well, I'll be like O-N-E and instead of W-O-N. I'll be like, what the fuck did you just, like, what is going on?
I wouldn't look down on somebody for writing pornography. Like,
Yeah, that's fine
it's
too.
like Like you can make an argument that that the porn industry is exploitative and harmful to some people, but it's like the writing porn, that's pure thought.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do like that like letting the actors improvise now in porno is just so funny. Like the improv is so funny. Like I'd much rather watch porno improv than 90% of real like regular improv. Like I mean I have erections during both, but in porno it's just so funny because they're just trying to go along with a certain mood, and then I don't know, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, and man, it's tough because you gotta yes and, you gotta be like, yes, I will have one in my pussy and in my asshole.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes and. There you go.
Sorry, I'm writing things. And it sucks because I don't... Like, I hate getting it... Like, it's one of those things where I, like, don't even want it to be a conversation. Like, I've had that happen once or twice where people, like... Where I'll just erase my whole original post, and then one or two people are like, did you block me from the thing? And I go, no, I just deleted the post. And they're like, why? And I was like, because I don't fucking care. Like, because if you want to go argue with that other person, fucking direct message each other. Like, you know what I mean? I was like... I don't want to fucking have to turn off notifications for my own thing because two fucking idiots are yelling at each other. Like,
sure.
I don't know. But yeah.
On the other hand, if you make a post that calls someone a racist, you are going to invite an argument.
But I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Regardless of how right or wrong you are,
yeah,
it will happen.
But my original post was, do you think John Wayne is kind of overrated as an actor, or are you from Iowa? And then somebody was like, oh, he was a Nazi. And then just another thing was just someone saying, like telling me, like, what do you, like, they were like, fourth most popular actor today. First of all, what does that even mean? Fourth most popular actor today. What do you mean? What is that? By what metric are you saying that? They said over 150 movies. According to George Takei, he was absolutely not racist. He was not racist, homophobic, nor did he hold an actor's political views. What does that mean, an actor's political views? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, Gerald, thank you for joining us once again.
Indeed. I'm sorry, Candide.
Candid. Very candid camera. Yeah.
Candide camera.
You were really upset when you were on that show because you tried eating those cameras and they didn't taste sweet at all.
Willy Wonka's gonna be upset.
His candied cameras?
What a freak that guy was.
Willy Wonka?
Yes. And whatever you do, don't eat his Wonka bar.
Yeah. The Wonka bar. Are Wonka bars good? I can't remember the last time I had one.
I mean, if they're just milk chocolate bars.
Yeah, that's all there are, right? It's funny that that's what they like. That movie and the book is all about like imagination and like being insane and craziness, and then the bar is just like a Hershey's bar, like a less taste than a Hershey's bar.
I love Hershey's bars.
I like Hershey's bars.
I like Hershey's bars more than most candy bars.
I like I like Hershey's bars on s'mores the most, probably.
Those are tasty.
Like that's. I used to make s'mores a decent amount in the microwave, even. Now I want
I
s'mores.
wish I had a gas stove.
A gas stove?
Yeah, so I can make s'mores.
Hey, Craig, thanks. Wait, I remember effects. Effect starts with a 4-action verb. Okay. And thank you, Craig, for hanging out with us. If you're still there, I don't know if you're still there. Sorry, I've been back and forth between my Facebook and talking to Gerald and watching the game. Sometimes I don't get back to it as quickly. Yeah. No, I feel like I always know that. I always feel like I know effect, but I always just back out of it. I always back out of it.
Just like the war, you're a coward.
It's like how it's yes, exactly. I'm an effect dodger. It's the same thing like when calling things ironic. I just say they're weird because it's just like you can argue if something's ironic, but like most things that people call ironic, if they're not ironic, they're still strange, right? You know, it's like
Sure.
it's a broad enough spectrum there. But all right, Gerald, I'll maybe message you here later tonight. Here, we're talking about having you give an edit of that short script here at some point, if you're interested. But I'll message you about that. I've given it a little I didn't write the original. It's me. I didn't come up with the story. I did kind of script doctoring on it.
Just remember, the pride of the Yankees cometh before the fall.
Yes.
Because he's sick, so he would fall a lot.
Wait, what? What?
Because the Lou Gehrig.
Oh, Luke, okay, that's where you're going with it. Yes, the pride of the Yankees. Was he? Oh, he was the pride of the Yankees, wasn't he?
Yeah, so it did come before
Before the fall. Before the falling and not understanding why. And then, yeah. You've seen that Norm Macdonald bit, right, on SNL? You know, you know the speech though, the Lou Gehrig, like the today I consider myself. It's Norm Macdonald doing that, and he goes today I consider myself the luckiest man in the world, and then he goes, I'm being sarcastic. I just was diagnosed with a disease so rare that they named it after me. I'm dying. Like it's really funny. It's very much up your alley. If you type in Norm Macdonald Lou Gehrig speech, I think you'll like it a lot. But
it's like in The Simpsons whenever it's like you've been diagnosed with Homer Simpson's disease, and he goes, "Oh, why me?"
Oh boy. Well, all right, Gerald. Well, I'll talk to you. What is today? Is today Sunday? Monday.
It is.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Man, I'm losing. Oh, in a few weeks we might start comedy again. How on board? By the way, we're gonna have like condoms for the microphones, and like plexiglass in places and stuff. It's gonna be weird.
Can't wait to start coming up with excuses not to do that.
Yeah. I think I'm not gonna go back to bartend or to run karaoke right away, but I might go host. But I don't even know if I don't know. I might try and kind of see what the vibe's like and see if, because I feel like most comedians, even though if they want to get back on stage, are kind of like iffy on it. But I don't know. I guess we do need to have a schmuck date that we put online. Is what we should do sometime. We'll do a Twitch schmuck date or something if I figure out how to invite you. Have you ever done Twitch?
Yeah.
Do you have an account and stuff?
I don't know. I guess so.
Okay. Fair. Well, all right, Gerald. I'm gonna let you go, but I'll talk to you later.
I wish you were the luckiest man in the world.
Aw.
In the same way that Lou
In the
Gehrig
same
was.
way? Oh, wow, okay. Thanks, Gerald. See you later, buddy. All right, that was Gerald. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.